But I'm talk about religion in early New England, and I think that'd be mainly the 17th century. And I've sort of tried to focus a little bit on the Rehoboth area. Although if one talked about religion in New England in the 17th century, in some respects it's fairly uniform in that all the religious people by and large are Protestants, and most of them are Calvinists of one kind or another. However, having said that, these get broken down into lots of little pieces, so that like there are 3 or 4 kinds of Baptists, and there are various kinds of Congregationalists, and then later on there'll be Huguenots, and on and on and on. Eventually also there'll be Jews. There are almost no Catholics, however. After all, I'm talking about the 17th century, a century in which Catholics regarded Protestants as heretics, and Protestants regarded Catholics as the Antichrist, and they spent a lot of that century killing each other. This is a century, the 17th century is a century of the 30 Years' War. As some have suggested, it's probably the worst war that Germany ever experienced, worse than World War II, in terms of the percentage of casualties and destroyed towns and all the rest of it. So, you'd be hard-pressed to find Catholics in New England, except maybe on a raid from Canada into parts of New England. Now, Rehoboth itself, I'm probably telling you something you already know, but it once was a lot bigger than it is today. Old Rehoboth and subsequent purchases extended way over into what is today Cumberland and East Providence and Barrington. Then you have Seekonk, Attleboro, North Attleboro, part of Swansea. All these were once part of Rehoboth, but they've gotten hived off from time to time. The size was whittled down through boundary disputes, so that someone pointed out to me that the center of Rehoboth used to be in what's now East Providence, where the Newman Church is. Now it's part of East Providence as a settlement that was made around, I guess, 1863. And Rhode Island has spent a long time trying to work its boundaries out with its neighbors, who spent, of course, the first 100 years trying to get rid of Rhode Island. That was another issue.